You're listening to Best Forevers, a podcast for kindred spirits, a podcast that encourages you to love more in your friends and to further consider the issues that plague friendships. I'm Alysa Lucas, and it is on. It is on like Donkey Kong. Yes, friends, it's time for a new series of episodes where I go against one of my friends, head to head, mano y mano, about one topic, our hot takes, to see who is right for the rest of the time. And I mean the time, like the rest of time altogether. And I know you're probably thinking, hey, doesn't this lady suggest ways to better our friendships and make notes of ways to avoid mistakes in our friendships? And why, yes, I do. But here's the thing. Friendly debate never hurt nobody. In fact, friendly razzing can increase bonding, connections, and enjoyment. I'm not typically a competitive person, but these episodes certainly allow me to trash talk outside of watching college basketball in my living room. So today I have with me Meredith. And so Meredith, do you want to say hi before all of your wrong opinions are exposed for being wrong?
Wow. Hello, listeners. Quite the introduction, Alysa. But I think that our listeners will find that you have the incorrect opinions. And I think what I have on my side is emotional appeal and nostalgia for us young people. As
if 1961 Parent Trap doesn't have nostalgia, yes, friends, we will be talking about the Parent Trap from 1961 and the Parent Trap from 1998. But let's talk about how we got here. What is happening? This episode is going to be the first of many called Battle of the Besties. And this title or name of the episode was created by Bea Burnham, and it was voted on by listeners on Facebook and Twitter, and it won. The second place name was also amazing, and that is Besties That Have Worsties. And so this will be the Battle of the Besties. We're besties who have worsties. So here's how it came to be. I responded to a tweet, quote, "Give me your most controversial movie opinions." And I said, let's see, cracks knuckles, because I was ready to go. Here we go. It was a 2-tweet hot take. Denzel should have won for Malcolm X. Duh. Titanic is trash. Double duh. Saving Private Ryan should have beat Shakespeare in Love for Best Picture. Give me a break. They stormed the beach at Normandy. Shelley Long is a national treasure, and if you don't know about it, you better watch Hello Again and True Beverly Hills. Avatar was terrible, and I am zero interested in seeing any new Avatars. Forrest Gump is overrated, which I know is a real hot take for people. Home Alone is one of the best movies of all time. And not just Christmas movies, like all time. Gladiator is boring. The Notebook is not romantic. The Hunger Games is too long. Grease 2 is better than Grease. So that has to be an episode. That has to be an episode. Mission Impossible movies are really good. A Christmas Story is tired and over. The Parent Trap from 1961 is greater than 1998. Michael Keaton is the best Batman, and Friday is one of the best comedies of all time. Lots of hot takes.
So many hot takes.
I was on fire that day.
The one that is the most offensive is your take on the Parent Trap.
Well, I'm sure some people would disagree and be most shocked by my takes on Forrest Gump and Grease versus Grease 2. But I'm willing to concede.
I've never seen Grease 2, so I can't speak on that.
Oh my God. It's amazing.
But
Michelle Pfeiffer. Better songs.
What gets me about Grease as a whole is that we as a society believed that Channing Tatum was like a 16 or a 17-year-old girl.
We've been playing that game forever. Luke Perry was like 50 when he was Dylan McKay on 90210. And I was in love with him, and I had his poster on my door. It was like a life-size poster of him. My brother got it for me for Christmas. It was a good gift. Good job, Jeff. So Meredith's response led to the scheduling of this recording. I said that 1961 Parent Trap starring Haley Mills was far superior to the 1998 Lindsay Lohan version. And we are here now today, friends. But we both have to concede that this is not original work, at least from 1961. Obviously, 1998 is a remake, but that this is based on a German book called Lottie and Lisa, or the original German title. Oh gosh, Das Appetit Lachen. Nope. Friends, I'm learning Spanish on Duolingo and not German, but that translates to the double Lottie. And it is a 1949 German novel. I'm sorry, German friends, by Eric Kostner, which is probably not how you pronounce that either, about twin girls separated at birth who meet at summer camp. So it does have the basis of both movies. So Meredith, how would you describe both movies, 61 and 1998? What is the gist of it as a reminder to our folks at home listening who have us in their ear holes right now?
Same premise as that original story. Two twins are sent. I guess they're really it's one set of twins.
Yeah,
who have been separated.
There's two twins over the movies. I get it. Yeah.
They've been separated. One lives with their mother. One lives with their father. The parents, have agreed. We will never speak again. We will not speak of this, etc. And then they have the brilliant idea to both send their respective twin to summer camp. The girls hate each other, get into a lot of trouble, and get isolated in a cabin together and are stuck together. And that's when they figure out that we share a birthday. And oh my God, I only have one picture of my mom, but it's ripped. I only have one picture of my dad, but it's ripped. Oh my God.
Same spot.
Right. and then they figure out that they are in fact siblings. They disguise themselves and swap places with the thought process of bringing their parents back together in love.
Yes. And that was
have to meet to get swapped back.
Yeah. That was a wonderful, eloquent, concise description of what those movies are about. And I just put her on the spot. She did not plan for that at all. That must be 4 years of communication education at Mansfield University.
It was only 2 years of communication education, friend. I was a biology major for
she came over to the dark side.
I did.
So as you might recall, Meredith has been on Fatalities. This is your first time on Best Forevers, though, correct?
It is, after having peer pressured you and tried long. Since the creation of the pod, I've tried to get on.
It's been out almost 5 years, so that's my bad. But I was going to say, Meredith was my student at Mansfield. That's why I was like, oh, it was really eloquent. But, okay, can we start off where we can find some common ground? Okay? And the common ground is this. The parents are terrible for separating their kids and just being like, you'll never meet each other, or just sort of taking away the fact that the dad would never know the other daughter, the mom would never know the daughter, and the daughters would know each other. Can we agree that
that's
is
how you know that
terrible.
This was crafted in a different time? That's how you know, because in today's society, there would be an agreement about not removing the child from the state. It would just be a nightmare. And it would never happen, I believe, in today's society.
Yeah.
And as somebody who has parents or divorced, it would never, my parents divorced and my sister and I were much older. So it wasn't like we were babies. But I don't believe that would have happened.
I just also think it's just completely selfish and unfair. I realize things happen, but if you're going to do it, then you better do it, right? If you're going to do it and kids come from it, then you have to do it. Parenting until you're 18. And I just think it's super unfair. And the fact that the twins are like, hey, let's bring them back together versus what the hell is wrong with you? And I would like to see that version of the movie. I would like to see the dark side version of The Parent Trap, where the twins come back and it turns into a bloodbath because their parents kept them from each other. And I think I don't know. That makes me feel really sad that unless they had this random event bringing them together, that they might have never met each other.
And I do think that there's a little more of that in the second version of the film when they're, well, what if it's a year in here and a year there? Well, that's why we came up with this agreement because that's too difficult on children. And so there's a little bit of an explanation. It doesn't make the decision correct by any means, but there was a little bit more of an explanation of why the decision came to, I take one, you take the other, never come in contact with each other again.
Yeah. So what did you think of the 1961 version when you watched it? Was this an enjoyable experience for you?
It wasn't not enjoyable. I think
if only this wasn't audio only, you would see my face was like, ugh, what? Not enjoyable, or like not enjoyable. Okay. Give us your 30-second version review of this movie.
That's so hard.
Okay. What,
I think primarily seconds. Because I have seen the, I have seen the 1998 version so many times prior to
what you're saying is you need to watch it a bunch of times.
I found the acting difficult to watch, at least on the Hayley Mills as a teen part. I know Hayley Mills as Miss Bliss from Saved by the Bell.
Youngin'.
Yes. That's how I know Hayley Mills prior to this. I do remember the song Let's Get Together because
Let's Get Together. Yeah. We can have
big Disney fans in my house as a whole. And so I remember having a tape as a kid that we would listen to in the car. That was a whole bunch of Disney tunes from various Disney films. And that was one of them. But I'm sure that at the time the, cutting of the dress was the worst thing ever.
I think that's actually one of the worst things that does happen. I think that is a terribly humiliating event, but we'll get into it with my review in just a hot minute, but continue. Yeah. I'm already getting worked up, but continue.
So I think that it was fine, but I felt like it was a little bit more cheeseball than the 1998 version.
See, that's where we differ. I will concede that Hayley Mills as the acting team of Susan and Sharon certainly, I mean, she's a child actress at a different time than Lindsay Lohan. And I do think Lindsay Lohan is a great actress. It's just unfortunate what's happened to her otherwise. I don't think the British accent was necessary. What?
I think Lindsay is pulling herself around.
I think her life would be different if she could have continued straight out of Mean Girls into some other films, but
correct.
She didn't need a British accent, though. I thought that was completely unnecessary, especially for a child actor. Like, I don't know. I was
but like, Hayley Mills is British.
No, I'm talking about Lindsay Lohan.
Oh, well, but that's why but at least hers was explainable. Like Hayley Mills was not explainable other than the fact that she was British.
It's 1961. There are things that don't need to be explained then that do need to be explained in 1998. But here is my review. I concede, so I'm giving you a bone that, maybe Hayley Mills was not the best actress because she is a child actress. I think they're fun, though, as Sharon. She's fun as Sharon and Susan. But what the 1961 movie has that the 1998 doesn't have, well, a couple things. Number one, straight out the source material from Das Doplet Lachen. Oh, God, I'm terrible. It also has, I think, the stellar cast besides the lead. So the dad and the mom are perfection. Brian Keith as the rancher dad. Oh, the brooding, don't make faces about Brian Keith at me. Are you kidding me? And then Maureen O'Hara.
We'll get to this. I'm just
Maureen
saying
O'Hara.
That.
I'm continuing. Maureen O'Hara is beautiful. And when she comes in there and just completely changes his world, because he's like, what is she doing there? I love Verbena. I love the Reverend. Vicky, Joanna Barnes as Vicky Robinson is a classic. And her mom, is hilarious. And then Hecky, I think, is better in this movie than the hand in 1998. So I think overall, I like the supporting cast better. I do like the woman. I don't know what her name is in the 1998 one, but like the woman who plays Verbena in the first one. I don't say a word. I just don't say a word. She's the delivery on that when she's talking all the trash about what the dad does, Mitch. She's like, I just don't say a word. He's going off with this woman, but I just don't say a word. But whoever plays her in the 1998, I think is also, I like her a lot.
Chessie is the character's name.
Yep, and then I'm going to look up the actress's name. She is played by Lisa Ann Walter. Oh my God! Do you know
who's on Abbott Elementary?
Abbott Elementary! I just made that connection. Abbott Elementary.
Oh my! That was the first connection I made, and I love it. Like I love seeing Chessie as the teacher, the South Philly teacher. It's amazing.
Abbott Elementary is one of the best TV shows in.
It's amazing.
Years,
I love it so much.
Years. So
the desking episode.
Oh my God, so good. I'm
so
like
good.
An episode behind, so don't spoil anything for me. I just love the Ava, the principal's my favorite. Comic Sans. We're still using Comic Sans. Anyways, so overall, I think they got the source material. I think they have the better cast minus the lead. And then I also think it is a deeper cut on humor and in terms of the behaviors that happen at camp, the pranks, I think are darker in the first one. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. That's I'm baffled. I just can't believe that you're baffled. Saying that there is a better, like, good looking dad father figure than Dennis Quaid is fine. In the 90s.
I'm saying,
and Natasha
Dennis
Richardson
Quaid is fine.
You're saying that the older mom is more elegant than Natasha freaking Richardson. Rest in peace.
Here's the thing. Yes. I'm sorry. Dennis Quaid is Dennis Quaid, and they're fine. I told you this. I enjoy 1998. I like the movie. I'm not over here like, oh, it's just fine. I actually like both movies. I'm just saying that 1961 is superior, where you're saying 1961 shouldn't even be in the running.
I don't think that it should exist. I just think that the 1998 version is more polished.
Because they had 30 some years to work on the source material, and they still couldn't get a better version of the soon-to-be new wife. I think Meredith Blake character is great.
Is a 26-year-old badass boss girl.
But Joanne Barnes as Vicki Robinson, girl, she will cut you with a knife.
I mean, Meredith Blake was going to send those two brats off to boarding school.
So was Vicki, because she did that line in 1961. Don't act like nothing is new in the second one. Here's the differences. Some of the pranks, you got British aspects. You have different names for everyone, which really throws me off. Because I'm like, what's her name? Chessie? I'm like, I get confused.
And Martin.
Okay.
The butler.
Martin the butler. That is cute. And I understand. And I can tell you how many years as a teacher I've had students do that in the classroom. And I'm like, oh my God, first off, calm yourselves. I want to see your rendition of Let's Get Together, but whatever. I love Stames. And because his name is Stames, it's Steve and James essentially combined. It is one of the greatest butler names to have ever existed in butlering. And he, in 1961, wasn't allowed to do a dance with Sharon. Sharon was barely able to do anything if she wasn't sitting properly or talking properly. And her grandma could not even believe that she would have someone call her or send her a Western Union. So I think that's a difference in time. I do think that's a cute moment and connection between Martin and the twin. But Stames, for me, formed in my brain as a kid what the epitome of being rich would be. Is living like Sharon and having a driver named Stames. Oh my God. It's like Downton Abbey. I'm like, this is amazing.
I will say I'm really glad that they got rid of the grandmother character in the second one, because the grandmother was rotten. Mm-hmm. She was terrible. She was so mean. And I'm really glad that they got rid of her.
I guess here's something that we could probably also agree on is that both of them really reflect the time that they were created in. So 1961 and then 1998. Okay. So my review of the 1998 one is this. It tries too hard. It takes already the good like gags and tricks and things like that, minus the dance. I like the upgrade to fencing and poker. But I think like it takes all the gags that already exist and then reuses them. And there's some classic gags and lines in the first one, right? Like the hitting of the sticks to get her away mountain lions. That's the thing is like, can we talk about, because that's one of the things is like, I don't know, it was really formative for me as a kid. And I wasn't even alive in 1961. So when this was a movie that my mom saw when she was a teenager, right? And so she was probably showing it to share it with me. And so when I saw this formative camp experience, like, I was like, I don't know if I want to go to camp. It's scary, right? So like one of my favorite lines, which one is she? Okay. So they each have their little band of buddies, right? So each twin has two other buddies at camp. I love the friendship aspect of it. They're immediately like ride or dies at the camp situation. And then when they have the situation where they see each other face to face, and the one girl goes, "The nerve of her coming here with your face." It's one of my favorite lines. I love the camp director. She doesn't know what her name is as she's not looking at her note cards. That's a classic public speaking joke. Love it. When they come up and they're like chilling on, I don't know, what do you call it? Like little deck sort of situation. And then they come up in the canoe and they start talking trash. And the one girl goes, "Not wanted." And she just kicks their boat over and she just dumps them right into the water. And all she had to say was two words: "Not want to, get your trash out of here." So the main gags of camp, you have, what do they call it? Gopher trapped. I was like, what is this? And that people talked about camping and wood lore. I was like, okay, that I don't know what's going on in 1961. But they got gopher trapped, which is strings everywhere, honey, all that kind of stuff. That was better in the first one. The fake foam and stuff like that. I didn't like that in the second one. I think that was a really classic gag in 1961, but it's also like really intense, like, right? Like you have destroyed where they sleep and live and they're going to get punished for that. And then the second one to get back at them is they go after Susan and she's with the cute boy from the other camp, right? And she's talking to him and they cut her skirt back and so that everyone can see her underwear. I think that is, you said doesn't seem like a big deal. I think is terribly humiliating and is absolutely like that would scar her for life, or at least it would have scarred me for life. And I don't like the stunts as much in the second one, like the beds on the roof. I'm like, how'd they get up there? How'd those beds get up on their house?
It's a movie, Alysa. Not everything has to be explained.
My version is a better movie. That is funnier. It doesn't have a little dance with Martin. And yes, Dennis Quaid is very handsome, but there's something about what's his name that plays Mitch. Love him.
I just feel like the 1998 version has Janice from Friends as the assistant camp director with her mom. Amazing. A boy at an all-girls camp. Also impeccable. Like that's a great singer in there. And, the hey tie-dye to get her bag out of the pile of duffels. Great. I think that the fencing was great. The poker, the fact that you learned they both play poker when they both arrived to camp, you like learn that. And I think you have Dennis Quaid and you have Natasha Richardson. You have Chessie. It's just the whole thing is great.
Oh, I agree. It's great. It's just not as good as 1961. 1961 gives it all of its good parts, minus the dance with Martin. Gives it all its good parts.
I think you have There She Goes in the black cab pulling up to the big house in London, which I looked up and I will be going and I will be taking a photo the next time I go to London.
I was like, not only like in 1961, it's Boston to California or Boston to Monterey. And then the second one, it's like London to California. I was like, damn, can you keep getting further and further away? I was like,
yeah, but they met on the QE2 crossing the.
Yeah, they do. That's a different story. They both don't
like to fly. And so that's the storyline there is that that's how they met. So it explains why the mom is British and would have taken her child back to London.
Lindsay Lohan with the British accent was absolutely not necessary and too much pressure for a tween actress, in my opinion. Because I think it opens her up for criticism when it's not necessary.
But I think she did a great job, and at least she could turn it on and off. Because Hayley Mills, I understand, is British. However, if you are cast to play an American, then you need to get it down. That's your job.
Bliss,
it's part of the job. You have to
Miss
do
Bliss,
the American accent.
She still has it. Hayley Mills is Hayley Mills. She doesn't need to change nothing. She was Pollyanna.
I mean, she's a cougar. Her current husband is like 15 or 20 years younger than her. It's amazing. Stan Hayley Mills.
Get it, Hayley Mills.
Stan Hayley Mills for sure. I'm just saying that the job said no British accent. These two girls are American. Literally, the mom didn't even have a British accent. And there's this kid with a random British accent. What happened?
Question. If Zendaya came to you and said that she wanted to do a British accent, would you let her do whatever she wanted because she's Zendaya? Yes.
Yeah. But also,
okay, Hayley Mills was the Zendaya of 1961 because she was the Disney queen.
Right, but if she rolled up and then they should have written a part that didn't make her do an American accent because she couldn't do it. At least Lindsay Lohan did the British accent and could turn it off and turn it on when she needed to.
I thought this was a movie, though, that we were doing suspension of disbelief. I thought we were doing suspension of disbelief.
She did not have.
Okay, I call accent. When she was Annie. She did. I call accent. You call beds. We're even there. Suspension of disbelief.
I just way better, you know. And
can I tell you my second favorite line of the movie that they then steal in 1998, but it is perfection.
1,000,000%.
Okay, so when was Susan played by Sharon, you know, because she's swapped. She meets Vicky and they're out by the pool and she gets in the pool and Vicky's trying to like be besties with her and be like, your dad and I went horse riding with Shotsley, I think is the name of the horse. And she's like, I hope you don't mind that I was riding. She goes, oh no,
Shotsley used to strange women.
Yeah. Oh no, Shotsley and I are used to strange women riding her.
Right?
That one is better delivered than in the second movie. I will give.
But I do love in the second one. You want the 411? What's that? Oh, like the lowdown. Like I love the total complete school of what's the 411.
Hey, I am not against I'm not against 1998. I think it does a really good reflection of that time. I just think that, again, I feel like I'm winning because I'm repeating myself because it is far superior content. But I think what's really going to bring it home for me is this. Let's talk about Parent Trap 2.
I can't wait for Parent Trap 2 to be remade.
Oh my God. Parent Trap 3? I think there is. Is there a Parent Trap 3? And there's like, there's
I don't know. I just need to petition to have Lindsay Lohan do a second version of the second Parent Trap.
Well, okay. So I think there was one with triplets, but it could be wrong. Yes, there is a 1989 TV movie. Okay, we should watch that. So Parent Trap 2 came out in 1986. It's about two best friends plot to get their single parents together to stop one of them from moving to New York City. And you can watch it for free on YouTube, although the video is low quality, but it's free. So, it actually might be on Disney Plus. It gets
the point across.
It might be on Disney Plus.
I did not see it on Disney Plus.
Okay. Well, it says Walt Disney, but yeah, it might not be there. So what I love about this is you have these two girls who meet during summer school. The one girl, her dad is Tom Skerritt, which he's also a fox in my opinion. I'm like, all three guys, I'm like, hey, I'll take all of them. Brian Keith.
Excellent casting.
Dennis Quaid, Tom Skerritt, absolutely. All three of them, I am down. And so in this, though, you have Susan has a daughter and they're moving to New York City, but then she's met this girl who is she wants to be best friends with her. And so they try to come up with a way to get their parents together. And so then they get Aunt Sharon to come out to pretend to be Susan to help the guy fall in love with her. And then he would obviously just fall right in love with Susan after Sharon left. And so it is all of the gags, if you will, but Sharon's in on it with these two kids, which I'm kind of like, Sharon, you're the grown adult here. Why are you involved? But
she says on the phone, like, why? Like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then she does it anyway.
She flies out to them and is going to participate in this. But this one came out when I was 8 years old. So this was definitely my nostalgia right here. I think the two girls are great. I think their acting is good for their age. They're 11 years old in this one. And I think in the other one, they're like 14. I think like it's right on point to what kids would do, much like I think across all of the movies that people do want their parents to get back together, right? In some cases they don't, but there is probably this dream or fantasy, especially for younger kids, that the parents might get back together, right? And then in Parent Trap 2, like we can be best friends, right? I think that is a classic 80s tween fantasy, is that if you have single parents and then your best friends, that you can then become siblings because your parents are going to get married. And one of my favorite scenes of all time, can you guess what my favorite scene from this movie was?
When they make the cookies?
Yes! How did you know that?
Lucky guess.
It just so stood out. So they made cookies and it's like chocolate chip, but then they had like marshmallows and gummy bears and all this stuff.
Honestly, it was just so much in a batch of cookies.
But I was also like, I want to do that. So your Martin dance and your all that was formative for you. And what's the name of her bunny rabbit?
Cuppy Bunny.
That's what I thought. This was the formative one for me.
Do I have a Cuppy Bunny? Yeah, I do. Because
I wish I had.
I was Alysa when The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan came out. I was 8 years old.
Yeah, see, I think that's the difference is we hold on so tight to the nostalgia. But the thing is, I can tell you The Parent Trap 2 is the worst out of the three. But for me, there is something about Tom Skerritt. I like the classic friendship, besties to siblings tale. I like the clothes that they wear, the girls wear. I was like, I want to dress like them. I love their cookie situation. I was all about it. And so I do think this movie is fun. But one of the things is I asked Meredith if she would watch it so that we could talk about it. And there were two reasons why I wanted Meredith to watch it. Number one, I had a sinking, just sort of like a feeling that 1998 was nostalgic like 1986 was. And then also, she just watched Parent Trap 2. Got her.
I watched it.
1960.
I watched it and I was texting Alysa throughout.
Is more than 1998. What winning? She's winning.
I texted her throughout and I was like, I just have so many questions. And by the quality of the writing of this movie, I'm not sure they're going to be answered.
I think they were answered.
And they were.
Yes.
They were answered.
Yes.
Because at first you don't know which twin it is. And you're just like, which twin has a daughter. And I think what my favorite line out of the Parent Trap 2 was when she calls her aunt, the daughter calls her aunt, and is like, do you want me to get robbed by a nun? Like,
she's like super dramatic about moving to New York City. I thought she was great. Is that Jenny Lewis?
I don't know.
No, not at all. She has red hair like Jenny Lewis does. Her name was Carrie Kai Heim, I think is how you pronounce it. And she played Nikki Ferris. And then Bridget Anderson played Mary Grand. They were the best friends. They were fantastic. Yeah.
Well, I loved that what they united over was their hatred of the other little girl in class. Because they were like, why are you here? And she was like, well, I failed because I was allowed to do whatever I wanted. Which, like, love the dig from Disney. Like, if your parents let you do whatever you want, you will fail and have to go to summer school. Yeah. And then I have to be here because I have to get my grades up because I have to get into a swanky New York private school. Well, I'm just here because I want to skip a grade. Nobody asked you.
Yeah, they were kind of mean to her. That girl is kind of a B, though, anyways. And so, like, they had some gags against her. Like,
but also nobody asked her. Jessica. Sorry to any Jessicas that are currently listening to this podcast. You could be great. I have never met a Jessica that I've gotten along with long term. So I just feel like she was asking for the frog in her book and all of the nonsense. Like, you little punk. Like, you suck.
Yeah, they put a frog in her book.
Away.
So 11-year-old.
Well, she asked for it.
There was no gopher trapping in this one, but they did make her think like there was a boy outside to talk to her, which I was like, oh, that's straight up mean.
But she tied their shoes together.
Yeah, and then they fell. I mean, physical injuries heal faster than emotional wounds.
But she was just like a little snot. And I believe that Jessica got everything that she was asking for. And is that terrible for me to say? Yeah, absolutely. And it probably makes me a bully of a small child, but she got everything that she was asking for.
Well, but here's the thing. I think I won this battle.
I am not sure that's the case.
I think I did, because even if I didn't win from the point of view of listeners, I still got you to watch Parent Trap 2, and that's a win in my book. So friends at home.
When Lindsay puts out her version of the Parent Trap 2,
that we'll go together opening night. Have a deal. Yeah. Handshake through computer.
I'll bring my Cuppy Bunny. I still have it. I'll bring my Cuppy
I'll come
bunny.
in an outfit inspired from 1961 and a guitar and fake play. Let's get together on a guitar. So listeners, you've had to bear into this battle, and I'm sure you've been yelling at both of us the whole time because you have a hot take that either we screwed up or you think we're wrong or you think we're right. But who do you think won this battle? Would it be me, Alysa, who believes that 1961 is superior, although 1998 is still a great movie? Or is it Meredith, who really loves 1998? Who appreciates
a 911 dog fax and who appreciates a good telephone call from a closet from her camp friend Mildred after, Mildred
in 1998? Come on.
That's her camp friend Mildred called her. And then when on the other side, she said that she had to call her friend in Bora Bora.
Nobody knows where Bora Bora is when they're...
It's in French Polynesia.
I said when they're 12. But here's also...
I think that
Mildred, it could have
to
just
remember
been
it
Meredith.
Was Annie. It was Annie as Hallie. Of course, Annie knew. Her British education she absolutely knew where Bora Bora was.
Absolutely didn't need to be British. Okay, we could do this all day long.
Richardson volunteers to play the mom. You make the kid British.
Rest in
peace. End the story.
Here's the thing. I love you, Natasha Richardson.
Gone too soon.
Yeah, gone too soon.
Taken from this world too soon.
And I think is a good reminder that if you have a head injury,
and go to the doctor if you fall down when you ski.
Because that also happened to Bob Saget, and he is like, I would consider him as a media dad in my life because of Full House. and Fuller House.
Yes,
and
Danny
so
Tanner.
That was very devastating. So to both of them, RIP. And for the rest of you, let us know who you think won. We'll have a little poll going on social media and see if it was a tie, if Alysa definitely won, or if Meredith definitely won, or tell us what hot takes we missed. And so until next time, friends, don't forget some good razzing, a little friendly debate, a little battle of the besties is good for friendship, because without our friends, who would we be? Thanks for listening to Best Forevers. If you like what you hear, be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and of course, share with a friend. Please be sure to follow Best Forevers on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Best Forevers Pod, and I'm at Dr. Alysa Lucas on Twitter. You can always find the podcast webpage for more information at bestforeverspod.com, and share your stories of friendship by emailing me at bestforeverspod@gmail.com. And if you'd like to support the movement to love on our friends more, check out the podcast on patreon.com/bestforeverspod. Now, friends, check out this recommended podcast that you must get in your ear holes immediately.